This video is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc. If you're looking for cards in the US, look no further as you can use the promo code MTGMudsta to get you 5% off anything on the site. Or if you're in Canada like me, you can use the same promo code at Multizone to get 10% off your orders of singles. If cards aren't what you're looking for, Original Magic Art has playmats, tokens, and sweet art that you can use that same promo code to help you get 5% off your order there. If you're looking to bling out your cards, using Alter Sleeves is a great way to do so, and you can click the affiliate link in my About section to help out the channel as you make an order. And if you just want to help out the channel, you can always consider becoming a patron for as little as $1 a month and join the generic Goblin Gang. This video is also brought to you by the Kickstarter for Cube-A-Majigs Series 2. Cube-A-Majigs are reusable booster packs for Magic the Gathering, Cube, and trading card games. Series 2 upgrades to the previous line, including cleaner seams that prevent packs from bulging, they're pre-made, and they have 30 pieces of gorgeous custom art, made by some of our favorite Magic artists. Be sure to check out the link below for more information. Hey gang, and welcome back. We've got some brand new commanders, and I'm filming in a new location. Today's game was filmed at Red Dragon in Ottawa, and Nick is playing his Vial Smasher and Tymna deck, which if you're familiar with Urza's armor and the deck that Nick builds around those, is that same deck with some new faces. He keeps Xancha, City of Brass, Cave of Koilos, Temple of Malice, Command Tower, Mountain, and Arakto's Charm. I am borrowing Max's Orcus deck, keeping a Warstorm Surge, Elena, Wayfarer's Bauble, Snow-Covered Mountain, Myriad Landscape, Command Beacon, and Vial Smasher. Max is playing General Ferrous Rorik, keeping a Mountain, Myriad Landscape, Sunforger, Haktos, Arcane Signet, Feather, and a Radiant Scroll Wielder. Martin has built Yusri, Fortune's Flame, and keeps a Mana Drain, Mystical Tutor, Zindersplit, Mountain, Wooded Foothills, Chance Encounter, and Wheel of Fortune. Nick wins the die roll and starts us off. Nick plays a Temple of Malice, which comes in tapped, scrying 1 and bottoming it. I play a Snow-Covered Mountain and cast a Wayfarer's Bauble. Martin plays a Wooded Foothills, cracking it and losing 1 and then passing. Max plays a tap Myriad Landscape and ships it back to Nick. For turn 2, Nick plays a Command Tower and passes. I play a Snow-Covered Swamp and then tap 2 to sacrifice the Wayfarer's Bauble to go and find a basic, passing to Martin. Martin plays a Mountain and just passes. Max plays a Plains and then pays 2 for an Arcane Signet. Nick plays a Reflecting Pool as his land for turn, and then casts Xancha, having her come into play under Max's control. I play a Bloodstained Mire, and then cast a Vial Smasher. Once my Gobbo has resolved, I crack the Mire, losing 1, to go and find a land, and pass to Martin. Martin's turn is quick as he plays a tap Path of Ancestry, and passes turn. Max plays a Mountain, and goes at me with Xancha. I take the hit, and Max then casts General Ferrous Rorik in his second main phase, and passes to Nick. Nick plays a Mountain for turn, and casts half of his commanders, bringing out Tymna. I play a Command Beacon, and then tap 2 for Talisman of Indulgence. This triggers Vial Smasher, and I roll to see who will get hit. Max is the unlucky target this time, taking 2. Martin draws, but it's not a land, and is forced to pass, discarding down to 7. Max draws, and goes straight to combat. Ferrous heads at Nick, while Xancha goes at me, and we both just take the hits, with Nick taking 3 commander damage. Max then plays Feather in his second main phase, and since she's a multicolored spell, he makes a 4/4 red and white golem token, and passes turn. Nick plays a Swamp, and casts a Soul Ring. He swings Tymna at Martin, dealing 2 commander damage, and gaining 2 from lifelink. He pays 1 in his post-combat main phase to draw from Tymna's trigger, and Nick then casts a Vial Smasher. He then plays out a Rampaging Ferocidon, and at the end of turn, I activate Xancha, drawing a card, and making Max lose 2 life. I play a tap Myriad Landscape, and tap 6 mana for Warstorm Surge. Martin is quick to slap out a Mana Drain, desperate to get some mana, and I still roll for Vial Smasher regardless though. It picks Nick, who takes 6, and I pass to Martin. Martin gains 6 colorless in his main phase from the mana drain, and plays a reliquary tower that he'd just drawn. He uses some of the colorless and the steam vents to cast Cindersplit, who once it enters, goes to find him Oaken, Eye of Chaos, and puts them to hand. Martin also takes 1 from the eyeball coming into play because of the Ferrous. Martin then uses the rest of his mana for a stolen strategy, and moves to combat. He rolls for Cindersplit's ability, calling it correctly and drawing it, and getting to roll again. He manages to hit a total of 3 in a row, which isn't bad, and passes through his phases to Max. Max plays a Tyrite Sanctum as a land for turn, and goes to combat, like a good Boros deck should. He swings the 4/4 token and Xantcha at Martin, and Ferrous at me, and Feather at Nick. We all just take the lumps, and Max then plays Rise of the Hobgoblins in his second main phase. This makes him another Golem token from casting a multicolored spell, and he takes 1 from the Rampaging Ferrocidon's trigger, and then passes to Nick. Nick pays 3 in his main phase for Read the Bones, and scries 2, and bottoms both, and then draws 2, and loses 2. He moves to combat, swinging the Rampaging Ferrocidon at Martin, who takes the 3. Nick then loses 1 in his post-combat main phase to draw a card to Tymna's ability. He plays a Dragonskull Summit, which comes in untapped, and then puts out a Spiteful Visions, and passes to me. I draw a card from the Visions, and for turn, taking a total of 2 damage. I play a Snow-Covered Swamp for turn, and tap 5 for Sir Conrad. I roll for Vial Smasher, which has Nick taking another 5, and then I take 1 as Conrad comes in from the Rampaging Ferrocidon. I then misread and cast a Wheel of Misfortune. We all secretly pick our numbers, and Max and Nick pick 0, while Martin picks 7, and I pick 10. This means I lose 10 to my own spell, and then Martin and I get to wheel. Martin and I each lose 7 from drawing 7 cards, and we make note of how many creatures go into the graveyard from Martin and I discarding. This is for Sir Conrad's triggers, and he gets 2 from me and 1 from Martin, which has Sir Conrad dealing 3 to my opponents, and I then pass to Martin. Martin gets a trigger from his stolen strategy, and each of his opponents exile their top card. He hits Burnished Heart from me, Assembled Legion from Max, and Blasphemous Act from Nick. He then draws 2 and takes 2 from the Spiteful Visions. Martin then plays a Frostboil Snarl in his main phase, revealing an island in his hand, and then pays 5 for Pyromancer's Goggles. Martin then casts the Blasphemous Act from exile, and the board wipe takes out every creature on the board, with my opponents each taking 10 from Sir Conrad seeing stuff die. Martin then passes, and Max cracks the landscape at the end of turn, and goes to find 2 planes. Max draws his 2 and takes 2 from the Spiteful Visions. He plays a command tower in his main phase, and then casts Haktos, and rolls as it enters. He hits a 3, and then pays for a Sunforger, and passes to Nick. Nick draws his 2, and takes 2. He plays a Glacial Chasm, sacrificing the land as it enters. He then plays a Tombstone Stairwell, which is just a kinda weird card, and Nick passes to me. On my upkeep, we all make zombies, and I draw 2 and then take 2 from the Visions. I play a Snow-Covered Mountain for my land for turn, and Nick is offended by my use of a die instead of actual tokens. I cast Orcus, putting 0 into the X, and then once my commander's out, cast a Jeska's Will, getting to do both modes. I get 7 red mana because of Martin's full hand, and I exile my top 3. The cards are Magus the Wheel, Slaughter Pact, and another Snow-Covered Mountain. I then use 5 of my floating mana for Terror of the Peaks, and then tap a black to help pay for a Zulapur Cutthroat. I deal 1 to Max with it entering, and then pass to Martin. We all have to sacrifice our Tombspawn tokens at the end of this turn, and this has my Cutthroat draining my opponents for 4, while I gain 4. Nick responds at the end of turn by casting a Rakdos Charm, and exiles my graveyard so I won't get the Tombspawn tokens on any upkeeps. We move to Max's turn, and Nick and Max make their zombie tokens, and then Max draws 2 and takes 2. He plays a Windbrisk Heights, which comes in tapped, and hides away a card, and is able to then equip the Sunforger onto Haktos. It has protection from everything but 3-drops, which might I add, I don't have any to block with. He swings Haktos at me, and I get taken out. And Max then passes, and since Nick can't pay for the chasm to keep it around, he'll die to the Spiteful Visions, and scoops it up to Max. Game review time. So this one had no green in it, and it certainly escalated quickly once Nick started playing his group slug effects. I also didn't do myself any favors by not taking the time to ask a few questions and fully understand what Wheel of Misfortune did. Besides that though, I think I was in a pretty decent position to win, and the only fault that I can see is that I didn't attack with the tomb spawns when I could have, at least to force blocks. Since the tokens were going to get sacrificed either way, I could have gotten in for 2 more damage on Max. Unfortunately, Martin didn't get to showcase Yusri very well, but I have filmed with that commander in a couple of their games, so look forward to seeing them in the future. I'm still not entirely sure what I think about that General Ferrous, but it didn't seem like the typical Boros commander that only cared about combat, so that was kinda neat. He kinda reminded me a little bit of Firesong and Sunspeaker, where the focus is more on spells and less on combat. This video wouldn't be possible without the help from my sponsors, Cool Stuff Inc., Multizone, Original Magic Art, and Alter Sleeves. But it definitely wouldn't be possible without the help from you, the viewers, and my patrons. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and to remember, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.